Oh shoot. I normally upload. Let me do this. That way we know what episode it is. Hello, Kim. Welcome, welcome. I'll be right there. Okay. Kind of like to put that graphic there so people know what they're watching. We'll put it there for a minute. No. We'll put it over here for a minute. Oh, and I'll move this way. Okay. So, welcome. I'll give everybody a second to join in, and I'm just going to put my phone up here. Hi, Kim. As is customary with our Facebook Lives, please tell me where you are tuning in from. I got this really cool cool stand for my computer, so I don't have to go putting a dictionary underneath it, and I'm just going to move it a little bit. Okay. I just needed to move it so that I could put my Okay. Hello, Miss Sharon. Okay, guys, I am here. I'm hiding behind that little graphic. How was Canyon Cafe? It was delicious. I love that place too. I really do. It's my second year going and dining at that same location. So there we go. I guess I could raise this. I didn't really adjust accordingly. So it's Wednesday, and there we go. Everybody is saying hello. Hi, friends. How are you? Okay. Where are you going to stay up that I can put you somewhere? You know, I don't really think of these. How about right in front of me? How about smack dab right in front of me? Let's hope I don't hit a button. Okay, there, I got it. Okay. I like to put my phone because some people don't click the tell me who you are in eCam. And it's nice to know. Hi, Penny in Oceanside, California. I'll just wave to you. Okay. Hi, Christina in Illinois. This is so great. Okay, people are tuning in. It's now becoming habit, and somebody today posted, I actually get this request quite often, and it is, can you do Facebook Live at a different time or in the morning or in the afternoon so I can watch you at lunch, or can you roll from my bedroom? The answer is I do want to mix it up. I do want to add different times, but I kind of want to keep my schedule flexible and what works best for me. And I'm only saying that because I'm the mom of three kids, but two of them live at home and they're high school seniors. So I really try to make it a habit of things. And, people get used to it. And I record every one and I load them onto YouTube. And I know it's not the same. And I wish I could please everybody. But right now I have to just please me and keep it in this little space that works because I really want to be there for everything my kids do, even though they don't want me to be there for everything. So if you're tuning in and you've asked me, I have written down other time suggestions, but I just have to be a mom first. And that's one of the important things about working and doing your own job and all that other kind of stuff. So don't think I'm not listening, though. In fact, I have been listening so much that it's been crazy. And I will start today by saying welcome. And if you're new, this is my studio. I do work in here. I do also have an outside job. I'm in construction. Can't you tell? Doesn't every girl in construction wear a pink shirt? But art is the main thing I do. It's my passion. I've been doing it. I've been creative all my life. And that's what we're going to talk about is creativity. I am going to start by saying that if you're joining in, just keep popping in with hellos. I see you. Hi, Carissa. I see you, Andy. I'm going to say that I just got back from Creativations in Phoenix. And that is the trade show where the manufacturers come out with their latest and greatest. It's not the same where it used to be. It used to be where they wouldn't show a thing until they wouldn't show any of the new products until this show, and now it's different. They kind of release everything before. Hi, Frank, my buddy. Hi, Andy. I am so excited you're here. I guess Wednesday is a church thing because somebody made the request today that she goes to church on Wednesday. So I'm just going to have to come to your church, and we'll have to talk from there. But anyway, so I went to the show, and normally I go and I work. This year I just went as a member. I shouldn't say just as a member because I'm honored. It was great because my products are there. My stamps were there. If you don't know, I have a line of stamps with Dare to Be Artsy. And I'm really fortunate to still work with some manufacturers in the industry. And the first thing that happened when I walked in was I literally ran into a bunch of people who have taken my classes, and it was just like I was home again. I did get, where have you been? What have you been up to? You know, and I'm like, I'm back. But yes, so I got to see so many of my creative friends. More importantly, wonderful stamps. Thank you, Christina. One of the things I did this weekend too was I just hung out with my girlfriend. And if you've ever been to one of these shows, I guess this was really my first time not working. So I just got to go. I was representing a manufacturer, so it wasn't like I wasn't working, but I got to go with my girlfriend. And I don't know if you guys, I get really busy, and life is busy, and I have 3 kids, and I'm a single mother, and I maintain my own home. So sometimes girls' trips go like this on the list. But the second you go on a girls' trip, all you do is just belly laugh, act silly, wear pajamas that you wouldn't normally wear, you know, and just have fun. I came back feeling more refreshed and relaxed and creative than I have felt in so long. And I know I was at a creative show called Creativations, so I guess that's implied that I should have come back. The other thing I did was I met with manufacturers and companies that I have worked with and have established relationship with, and I said, I'm back. And Carissa, a girls' trip, just revitalizes your soul. It just brings you back to being silly, not being a mom, not having to be responsible. Of course, you have to be responsible, but you get it. I do recommend them. So yeah, I'm just in a different space. So to go back to the show was really just for me. It wasn't for anybody. It was, well, I mean, it was for a company, but it really, really was fantastic. We flew in Friday and just turned the plane around and came back Sunday. So I didn't lose my whole weekend. We stayed at a great Airbnb, and I probably met 2 guys who will be friends with me for life. And like I said, my friend Shelly and I just had a really great time. I've known Shelly since 1992, and like a sister to me. So I don't have sisters, so this is another reason to do this, and I will be doing more of these. So anything that sparks your creativity is just a wonderful thing. So today we're going to talk about creativity. I even have a PDF. Look, not only do I have notes, but they're typewritten. So I really came back feeling creative because now I just want to share, share, share. And today's topic is really about creative books that kind of have fed my creative soul. I am a reader. Oh, I should talk about Creativations. Let me just tell you, I had already seen most of the products already. I did meet with manufacturers and I talked to them about my birthday month, which is May 50. I turn 50. Okay. Anyway, Dare to Be Artsy is doing a giveaway. Jelly Arts is doing a giveaway. A longtime pen company that I've done work with Marvy is doing a giveaway. Who else? There are 4 other companies. And I just thought, remember how I used to do birthday giveaways? I just want to give stuff away. So Dynasty Brush, these are just the companies I know, love, trust, I promote. And not because I need to get paid from them or anything. Just because I'm really big on only promoting products that I use and love. So you're not going to see me promoting other things. Hello, keep logging in. I love it. Keep saying hi. So I will tell you that tonight we are going to talk about creativity, being creative, or thinking you are not creative. And I need to kind of know, oh, hold on, my daughter has something really important to say. What's for dinner? I don't want to ruin the surprise because it's going to be a surprise for me what's for dinner too. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So Nifty 50. Oh, I always come up with something for 50 and I was thinking fabulous at 50 or fantastic at 50 or I don't know. I'll think of something. But if you didn't see my Creativations photos, I posted them here, Tracy Weinsteffel Studios. I think there were like 30 of them. And the show was small. It was smaller than I've ever seen, but it was intimate. I was able to talk to everybody who I wanted to talk to and then ran into so many others and so many people that I had as students. So I ran into stores who have invited me back to teach, which blows my mind. Okay, so oops, my daughter is going to say tacos. I guess she's making tacos because she thinks I am. Okay, I probably could make them. Anyway, they'll be just tacos with ground beef and a tortilla and cheese because I believe we're out of everything else. All right, so as far as books and reading go, I would like to get a poll. I would like to ask, first off, are you a reader? Are you an audio listener, audible books or audio books, whatever those things are? Kindle or library book or book. I am a book person. However, I hate to, how do I word this? I hate to buy books and just have them stack up and have them collect dust. I don't really read my books again. I gotta undo this because it's kind of strangling me. I don't really read my books again. So it's kind of like, unless a book is really amazing, I will pass it on, but I will keep it. There are certain books that I've kept. And then I also do the Kindle so I can take my iPad with me, which I did today at the doctor's. By the way, I turned 50 this year, so boop, 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 for my 50th, I get a colonoscopy. So that was great news. And I also had my physical today and all that good hoo-ha stuff. And so if you are not on top of your health, do it. I got my blood pressure checked. It just was a tune-up. And so I am looking, and people are saying audio. I need to try this audio thing. I'm at work all day, and I listen to podcasts and Sirius satellite radio, mostly the Bravo, Radio Andy. I listen to and Dr. Laura. I listen to Dr. Laura. So people are really pushing this, not pushing. I love the audio thing, but I am a book person. I like to feel it. I like to look at my books. I always I underline, I take notes, I tab them. So I am just a crazy book person, but I'm here. They are coming out with a pill you can swallow. Can I wait for that? I wish that was the case. And we haven't started the topic, but well, we have talked about it. So we're going to talk about creativity. And so in my life, when certain things happen in my life, one thing I like to read. I just love to, I will tell you, going through a divorce and what I went through recently, I can give you a list of self-help books that I absolutely loved and just brought me out of the depths of my despair and made me feel like I wasn't alone. Many years ago, I set on this task. We're not going to talk about that today, but I am going to come up with that resource of list because now I'm having people coming to me and talking to me about what they're going through. I love that you guys are talking about my colonoscopy and recommended ways. Okay. I love this about it. When you build a community, it's like you all come together and it's so funny. But yeah, that's what I'm getting for my 50th. All I really want is a colonoscopy. So, but let me just tell you, mammogram, all those things I stay up on. I digress. One thing I've really delved into, and this was quite a long time ago, I looked up the word creative on Amazon or creative books for creative people. I've always been one of those people who I can't draw a stick figure, or I can't do this, or I can't do this. But I just want to. I have this desire and this passion to be creative. I love colors. I love painting and whatever I could get my hands on. And then I figured one day there has to be other people out there like me. This side of my brain that just goes berserk and has ADD. And so I really started on this journey of finding books. So I thought I would share my top 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now that really bugs me. I should have come up with 15. But I came up with as many fit on this page nice so it could be presented so you don't have to take notes. And so I will share this. If you want a copy of this and you're not part of my email list, you can go to yourartfuljourney.com and there's a wait list that puts you on my email list. If you're already getting my email list, just hit reply to the emails. Today you would have gotten an email from me that showed pictures of me as my bookwormy self. My first book was in a library, so books were just in my soul. I have them in my soul. My first job was in a library with a bunch of blue hairs who would not, I was only 15, would not put any books away, wouldn't lift a finger, and they basically waited all day long until I would get there, and the books would just be stacked a mile high, even though their job was to put books away. They would stand there and talk and sip their coffee, and I would have to hump books. So what I would do is go to the far end of the library, put as many books away as possible, and then I would just sit in the corner and read until it was time to leave. Don't tell them that. And sometimes there were a couple of books put in the wrong place because I thought fishing went in nature aisle. I decided the Dewey Decimal System should be done my way. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the books, and if I don't have the book, then I'm going to, the first book I'm going to recommend that I just finished tomorrow, and for the members of Your Artful Journey, I talked about doing interviews. I'm interviewing my first author on Friday, so this is just for the members, and I talked about not all the interviews are going to be on like art. They're going to be on personal development. So I'm going to just talk about this book, but I am going to say if you get the book, we are going to do a FaceTime Live on just this book. It's called Boosting Your Joy by Catherine Walker, and I was so interested and intrigued, and I folded back pages. I did get it off Amazon, and I guess I bought a used book because my name's not Helen. I folded back pages because I wrote up a list of questions. I am interviewing her on Friday, so that's coming to Your Artful Journey. And yes, I'm going to have guests. I figured out I can have guests on Facebook Live. So if you have a suggestion of somebody you would like me to try and get to talk to, they might not want to talk to me, but they might want to. I will be recording and airing interviews that happen here too. But this will be this book resonated with me. I wrote pages and pages of questions, and I can't wait to tie it into what we're doing. Okay. So if you're a member of Your Artful Journey, stay tuned for that. That covers that. Okay, so my first book that I ever read, and if I don't have the book, I have pictures. I have show and tell. That means I got it on a Kindle and I don't have it to show you. My first book, I will tell you, anything, Carissa, so much is going on in there. And there will be more chances. The first book, I showed this early on. This is my Bible. It's called The Complete Artist Way. I bought all 3 books in one, but I will tell you, it's The Artist Way, Walking in the World, Finding Water. This is by Julia Cameron. If you don't have it, get it, absorb it, get the workbook. Your people are right in this book. And she's like a screenwriter and an author, but it ties into anything that's creative. Get it? Know it? Love it. Anything by Julia Cameron. In fact, here's another one by her. It's The Vein of Gold, A Journey to Your Creative Heart. I will be honest, I haven't read this book, but this is to be read. Okay. So sometimes I go back to this and kind of reread it as a jumpstart to my soul. That's it. Okay? So the other 3 books, if you have not read the 3 books by, Austin, and I might butcher his name, Kleon. Kleon? Steal Like an Artist, Show Your Work, and Keep Going. These books are super simple to read. If I could show you the books, I think they took me 15 minutes. They were like, he writes them in this way with these awesome like little diagrams. And the one thing I loved about Steal Like an Artist, because we talk about this time and time again, and people are saying to me, I don't want to exactly draw what you do, and I keep saying, steal it, do it, use it as an exercise, figure out what you want. Gather 15 artists you love and gather a piece from this artist, a piece of this artist, a piece of this artist, and a piece of this artist, and soon you're going to have this giant, like, network of skills that you can make into your own. That is something. Now, steal like an artist doesn't mean go steal somebody's work, go teach it, take credit for it, and not give credit where it's due. So do not think in any way, shape, or form that's what I'm saying. I disagree with that. I follow so many artists. I am in awe of so many people. I saw so many of them at Creativations, and I will actually walk up to somebody and say, thank you for inspiring me to try this. And that's why you see just my artwork zinging and zanging all the time. And Show Your Work is probably one of the more instrumental things that made me put my artwork out there. And by golly, if you didn't like it, but I couldn't believe the amount of people who did like it. So, Keep Going was just like the 3rd book. I cannot recommend these enough, okay? I think I got it. All right. What else do we have here sitting? Oh, I'm reading one right now. I didn't take a picture of the cover. It's Kindle. So I'm going to try and show the cover. Hopefully I have the name of it. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh, I want to show the cover. Okay, I know you don't know who I am. Oops. Okay. Well, Excuse me. It's called Creative Confidence. This one, oh, come on. This one I'm reading, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to go back to the cover. And it's by two brothers, actually, so it's kind of cool. Creating Confidence, Unleashing the Creative Potential Within Us All. It is by Tom Kelly and David Kelly. Now, I haven't finished it, but I'm within the first 2 chapters. And I will be getting in the bathtub to watch this tonight. And yes, I take my cat into the bathtub. So that one, and by the way, I have this list all printed in a PDF. So drop me an email, or if you're not on my email list, please just go to waitlist. It'll be a freebie. Donna's probably gonna she's in Toronto. Whoops, there goes my plug to my computer. She is in Toronto, but I will figure out a way that this can become a freebie for you guys. I'm gonna plug my computer back in. Okay, so you don't have to take notes. Oh, I did print up that cover. Look at how efficient I am. Show and tell. I really studied for this book report, by the way. I did. I'd like to be graded at the end. I cannot, the one thing I'm loving about this book right now, and I tell everybody, I would scream it from the mountains. When I hear people say I'm not creative, I will ask, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, well, I'm in the marketing department at Qualcomm, or I am in this field, or I am the project manager on this job. Hi, Vicki. Every occupation and every job and everything you do involves not everything you do. I mean, I don't need to be creative when I give my colonoscopy again. But all of us have a creative side, and it depends on what our preferred outlet is, whether it's music or whatever, or going to your job and coming up with a meeting or a budgeting meeting and something that's not boring and mundane. And when you think about all these companies like Google and Facebook and all these big companies that really base themselves on energizing their employees to be creative versus just book smart. That book is covering that for me, and I am in love. I bought it on a Kindle. I'm probably going to have to go buy it because I'm going to have to highlight it, but that's just me. Okay, the next book that I love is Remember, Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, which the movie, Julia Roberts. I recommend Eat, Pray, Love, but I even recommend more is called Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Your Fear. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. Did I say I love it? All right. This is I should have done a summer reading list. Okay, my next one is by Jen Sincero. Sincero. And I haven't read the green book, but I've read, okay, and it's called You Are a Badass. It's the yellow book. I haven't read You Badass Making Money, but I'm a real easy reader. I don't want, I will tell you one book that I put on the list that I found hard to get through, but I enjoyed the message. And that was The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And of course, I didn't make a copy of that. So that is another book on my list. I think. Oh, yes, hold on. Here it is. This book I bought in an airport, and it's called The Crossroads of Should and Must. Find and Follow Your Passion. Now, the reason that this book caught my attention, I did put this on the list. The reason I put this on the list was, first off, who wouldn't love reading a book that is just filled with, yes, this book was just plain out fun to read and fun to look at. And so I can't remember. I think I'm going to reach out to this artist. Yes. Her name is Ella or Ellie Luna. Another fantastic book. So I highly, highly recommend this. I mean, you guys have enough to read. I put 14 books on this list. The last one was, The Artisan's Soul. And that's another one. I think that was my last one. But I do have a couple more just to... The Artisan's Soul, that was on my Kindle as well. And I don't remember what... That one is by Erwin McManus. So again, I printed this in a list. I will probably add 15 because it's going to drive me absolutely bonkers that I put 15, and I even made it cute. And I made it in a checklist form. That's my next question, Vicki. If you have read a book, I'm going to write it down. Oh, and by the way, this little notebook came from my friend Andy that said, "My portable cheerleader, the pad that talks back." It's got all these things in it. Self-care solution. I really want, my idea between our Facebook Lives is for this to be interactive. So if you have book selections, I think I added this to my, if I didn't, it's going to be number 14. I would call this a creative book. The one thing my kids do all the time is whenever they talk to me about a situation, or they're going through something with a friend, or my friends are doing this and I don't want to do this, or this is how I did add this on the list. I don't know how to deal with this or whatever. I always say to my kids, you do you. I think my dad said it one day to me. It stuck, and I've always said this to my kids. You do you. You don't need to worry about what so-and-so is doing. You don't need to worry about what so-and-so is doing. You do you, and you are going to live with the outcome. I've always said it. And then one day I was in an airport, and somebody wrote the book. Sarah Knight, good job. You do you. It's how to be who you are and use what you've got to get what you want. So if you are a book reading type, this made my list. And again, I think she's written some other ones. This talks about following your passion, and like even this chapter is don't quit your day job. This lady had a plan, did a plan to become a writer. She wanted to explore her creative passion to make it an occupation, and she did it. This was the life-changing magic of not giving an F, and the other book was Get Your SHIT Together. So I found her to be an excellent author and inspired me. And how can they not? Yeah, you do you. It's so funny because somebody said to me one time, "That sounds dirty." I'm like, well, if it works, do it. But and then I do have other books. I'm going to come up with a second and third book list, and these are all going to be Facebook Live topics. I have another topic is creative books that I have bought that inspired me or helped me learn to draw. It's really hard to find, well, I shouldn't say that. There are a zillion and one drawing books. I would like to make one. So I bought them over time. I used to, long ago, the decorative painting or the professional painters used to have those big books, and I used to have some by Bob Ross. Well, now they're just smaller, and I'm going to come up with a creative, drawing-inspired book list. I'm also going to come up with a self-help type books. I probably could tell you everything you need to know about narcissism and have a lot of books that are on that. But I just picked up Loving What Is, so I'm reading this. This was a book that got me through my divorce by Kristen Armstrong called Happily Ever After. And this was the ex-wife of Lance Armstrong. So this was a lady, and it's basically things, it is faith-based, but I'm going to have some faith-based book like Jesus Calling. There were times that when I went through a tough time, somebody came through and said, you got to read Jesus Calling. You got to have this book. You got to have this book. I would like to put those together, and they will be in a handy handout, just as pretty as this. So if you are not on my email list, go to where it says on your Artful Journey wait list. I will have this available as a freebie, but Donna is out, and she's the brains behind the signing up website and stuff. I don't have to do that. And I really, really would love to hear any books that you guys have read that have played a part in your creative journey or that you think I might enjoy. I will pick it up, I will Kindle it, or I will audiobook it. I'm going to give audiobooks a try. I was at the gym the other day having to finish this book, and I got on the bike and burned 450 calories reading this whole thing, or half of it. Jesus Calling is a great book. I will tell you, in my desperate time of need, I had a very wise, she is to my financial planner of all people, mailed me that book. And so know that the other day I put on Facebook, if there was anything I could help you in art journaling. Aubrey, not only do I have the Artist Way, but I have the Artist Way in the 3-book form. It's called my Bible. It is called my Bible. This was the one that really, this book was the first book I read that I went, oh my goodness, I'm not crazy. I'm creative. The other thing she does in here is called her morning pages. I would equate that to my morning meditation. She's a writer, so she writes. Show the Joy book again. Okay. Yes, this is going to be a huge topic of my next. I'm going to have a Facebook Live just on this book. And I've pulled out pieces. I have 3 pages of notes. I'm going to be interviewing this author Friday morning, and I'm going to try and not act like, and I would love it if you order it and you go to her Facebook page and you say, Tracy Weinzaffel recommended you, because I really want to promote good things. Her website is, I'm going to type this out. This will be a future, we're just talking about the book. I'm going to type this out. I ordered her book off Amazon. It's Catherine Walker Speaks. She is she even gives her cell phone and offers like a half-hour counseling. But I will have more information on that. I get the pleasure of interviewing her on Friday morning. So anyway, on Facebook, I asked if you had the opportunity or if I could help you in any way in art journaling, what could I do? You guys gave me a list. I think there were 30 comments. I wrote every single one of them down. Time, management, everyone is going to be a topic. So if you have been thinking about, you're too shy, you don't want to ask me, my friend Dina wrote me up a lovely email. I wrote those topics down. Also, the other day, a couple weeks ago, I said, what kind of flowers would you like to see me try? And that has led to this: Creativity Sparks creativity. And if you don't think this will come back to you tenfold, this is what I drew on the airplane. I just shared this. This is what I drew in bed because daffodils. So I'm going to write the names of the flowers on here. This was I can't remember. Something. Daffodil. I don't. I need to write the names down because I just did this. So keep realizing the community we have, the community we're building. All we're doing is doing this. I am passing out and disseminating information, and it just comes back. And then when you guys give me information and books and whatnot, I am. Oh, so remember the planner I bought? Well, it broke apart. I don't recommend the planner I bought. So I ordered a real one that it's bound. And now I'm now becoming, this is Pansy. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for knowing what I drew. Really good on the research. So I've written out my Facebook Live topics every Wednesday. There's my interview with Catherine. I'm so excited. There's my wine with just the members of my, So the members of your Artful Journey are members. They get certain things. And so that's what's going on in my little world. And then I break down each day. So I'm coming up with everything you guys are saying to me is becoming a topic. It's like, oh my God. Aubrey, I did find an excellent planner. I'm going to tell you the planner I didn't like, but I'm not going to mention it where it came from, but it came from a store with a boy's name. This fell apart. The binding in the book came apart. It was a nice in concept, but I found this on Amazon, and her name is Erin something, Condren, and I can lay it out flat. And it's not. It's like they guarantee it won't pull apart. And it came with this. I know this is crazy, but I hate trying to figure out. Yeah, I didn't like the other one. I gave it up. This I'm obsessed. Pansies and daffodils are spring flowers. I sure know I have spring on my mind, you guys. I'm so dying for spring. Me too. Yeah. So I just ordered it off Amazon because I was going to order it from her website, and it was going to take longer than me waiting one day for Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has been at my house every day. It's crazy. So know that if there's anything you guys want me to share, if there's something that's missing, and it doesn't have to be just art related. We will always have art stuff. But this is all about personal development, developing you as a person, giving you that, that go get 'em attitude, because you know what my word of the year is this year? Empower. And creativity is contagious. But I hope germs and the flu are not, because I got a flu shot today. And by the way, my friend Aubrey is one of the most creative human beings I know, and she does burlesque dancing and just is so phenomenally gorgeous, and she happens to have a most amazing boyfriend who is a musician. So it is great because she's all about expanding the arts in our community, and she is the kind of person you hardly want to say no to, but you also want to be a part of what she's doing. And she's kind of given me the cojones to get myself out there a little bit more, even locally, because I always have this saying, if you're going to fail, you can fail in London, but not locally, so that you're in the grocery store and have to run into the person you failed around. Isn't that a wise thing to say? So for all of you who needed that little kick start to your creative soul, I gave you 14 books to launch yourself. Carrie just said you've been always been very inspiring for me. I actually started drawing again, and I found my watercolors too. You are welcome, Aubrey. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. See, this is what happens. And the book I'm reading now is all talking about creativity. It just launches more creativity. And that's something that I love. I love. It brings you out in your community. It brings you out with fellow people. I do have to say, building this community and putting myself back out into the world has been nothing but a kind leap of faith that has been utterly amazing. And the fact that you guys are even remotely tuned in here for the past 40 minutes is just witness of that. So again, if you need the list, you could drop me just respond to the email you got this morning or one of the emails. If you got my email today, it showed me as a high school senior in my senior pictures, and also like my second or third grade photo wearing my glasses, because I was a Coke bottle, braces, awkward, quiet introvert growing up, and launched into some crazy being when I realized who I truly was. And it's great. Faith, hope, and cojones. A lot of that going on. Okay, and again, if you found this topic and you liked it and you found something useful, a thumbs up is great. Sharing this, I'm always awkward to say share it, but if you will, this is going to be our saying for the day: faith, hope, and cojones. If you could share this with your creative friends, or if you found something to be inspiring, I want to hear about it. Last week, and I'm very sorry I haven't responded to the email, I got the most amazing email that I need to respond to, and she just broke some things down. So I love it. The hands are going like this. So I know I'm not always going to draw, but I will be drawing. I get a lot of that. But I really want this to be a space where you can learn. So next week we're going to, hold on, let me check my planner. And I even put the events out. Look at, I'm not fooling around anymore. Next, look at this. I love it. I love that I have little drawings. Next week's Facebook Live is all about the color wheel, which was a suggestion. Aubrey, write that down. Faith, hope, and cojones. It's going on my book list. Great evening. Thank you, Anne. That's going on my... Now I'm going to write that book, just like You Do You got stolen from me. Sorry, Aubrey, taking it. Okay, look at my book recommendations from people. Self-Care Solution and Faith, Hope, and Cojones. Okay. Yes, and I will tell you that I might move it around, but I think I was thinking February 5th was going to be my book day. I'm so on top of things. I have more fun writing in the planner than I actually have implementing and doing anything. I have got a whole little set of Sharpies that, look at this. I've got a little thing. This is more fun than actually doing any of it. So I'm on top of things. I'm going to make fake tacos. So thank you for joining me. I will see you here. Yes, in the beginning of my planner is my main goal is to write a book. So it's happening, people. I will see you here next Wednesday, 5:30. This will immediately go to YouTube, and if you guys are on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel, and when I upload it, if you want to share it, that only helps me, my business, my mortgage payment, and, you know, just for the cost of a cup of coffee a day. Kidding. February 5th is my colonoscopy. Good ending, Kim. Okay, guys. Andy, everybody, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will see you next Wednesday, same location, right here. Bye, guys.